You can support me on Patreon for just $1 a month.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Christian Hannah Horror here today. Wanted to talk to you guys about a topic that I mentioned in one of my previous videos when I met Mr. Alex Vincent at the Texas Frightmare Convention. He'd made mention to me that the next installment, or so to speak, for lack of a better word, of the Child's Play franchise is that they're exploring a television route for the show. And just kind of wanted to, talk about my feelings on that, and do I think that's the right way to go? Maybe a controversial video for me to do and say, but in my opinion, in my estimation, I don't think that going to do a television show is a good idea, and I don't think that is the smart thing to do, and I'll explain why. Number one, Don Mancini brought back the Child's Play franchise in the correct way, I felt. It wasn't more than what it should have been. It wasn't more than it needed to be. It was a nice release and a nice return when he brought back the Curse of Chucky. It brought the story to the next level. It was appreciative of the fans of the previous movies, and He did it, in my estimation, as perfect as he could have done. No, it didn't go nationwide theaters, but I think that's good because I don't think Don had restrictions, and the film was fairly well received as far as my knowledge goes. And then it was years later when we finally got Cult of Chucky, which, for lack of for my estimation, was just as good as the previous film and brought the story. It's continuing the story. To sidetrack off of that's very important in a series, is that you're continuing a story and you're keeping fans satisfied along the way, because we're the ones that are feeding the vehicle for the Child's Play franchise to continue. So when I talked to Mr. Alex about the possibilities of the show being the next movie being a television show instead, I kind of sat there and I almost wanted to say to him, please don't let that happen. Now, here's my reasoning. Anything in moderation is well. When you get too much of something, it doesn't always just make you crave it more. Sometimes you get burnt out on things, and I think that if they keep on the track that they're doing, spacing things out and having a movie every 2 to 3, 4 years, it's worked very well for the Child's Play franchise as of late, and I don't really like to rock the boat. I think having some space between movies is very good, and it gives you a craving for more. So when you get to the next movie, there's an excitement about it. There is a rejuvenation in it. With television shows, some things just tire easy. I mean, let's take, for instance, the Scream TV series. I looked up some of the ratings on the show, and the ratings just drip down and drip down. Granted, the Scream series is a slightly different situation because it's not exactly based off of the movies. Just mainly the title is. But what I'm getting at is this. While I don't think the Scream show got worse, I do feel that people just get too exposed to something and they get burnt out on things, and I still think there was a lot of quality in the show, but that the ratings don't lie, and I don't even know if the show is continuing anymore, which is a shame. And my second biggest reason for the Child's Play franchise to not go to television is the travesty that happened with Ash vs. the Evil Dead. There was a lot of piracy issues going to Showtime, I believe was the channel that Ash vs. Evil Dead was on, and people were watching the show more or less illegally and not paying for the subscription services. I assume the way that works is there is a rating view system for that show, and also to see if new members come on to get the channel. Another thing I thought about that was concerning with Showtime and Ash vs. Evil Dead was I don't think that was the best route to take to go to television. I'll say this: if for some reason Child's Play does go to television, I think their best outlet would be Netflix. Netflix would be the best way to make that happen. Take the show to Netflix. There is a huge audience for it, and that is the only place where you can grow that audience, I believe. To get the outside fan, to get the outside eye, would be to bring the show to Netflix, because the viewer base on Netflix is probably 100, maybe 500 to 1 when it comes to something like Showtime. And not even cable. Not everybody has cable anymore. Cable is, I don't want to say going out, but, I dare say that more people have Netflix than cable nowadays. Could be wrong. At least in my life and the people around me, that's the consensus. So my biggest thing is just the fear mostly, and I like the format that Mancini has created with these last couple films. So I don't want to see the Child's Play franchise go to a television show. That's not to say that it can't be good. I have full faith in Mr. Don Mancini. But that's my feelings on the matter. So I just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention and just basically, see what your guys' thoughts are on that. So my feeling at the end of the day is I would prefer that this guy over here stay in the cinema, so to speak, to stay on the Blu-ray. And I think that, not why rock the boat, but obviously this is a discussion video, so looking forward to seeing your comments down below on why you think this maybe should go to television or why you think maybe it should not and stay in the movie format. So for now, this is Christian Hannah Horror. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and also hit that little bell to be notified when I upload. And me and Mr. Chucky will see you guys next time.